You can increase your productivity by 5 or 10 times overnight by putting the 3 methods into action that I'm going to give you in my free course. So go download it right now by clicking the link just below here. What do you do if you have too many things you want to achieve? Like your life is just, out of balance in so many areas. Your finances is screwed up, and your body, your relationships, everything. And you see, it's like too daunting of a task to really deal with it all. And you try, right? You try to revolutionize your life by doing everything right, and for extended periods of time where you work on your body, you work on your business, you work on everything, or your job, on your relationships, and then you collapse because it's just too much work. It's so exhausting to do all that. That's what we usually do when we attack anything. We say, okay, there's a lot wrong here. There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of challenges. Let me deal with them. But what we don't see is that it's impossible. What you need to do, it's really great to have high standards or to have high demands on your life. But when you have a lot of areas that are not where you want them to be, you absolutely need to look within you and say, what is the most important thing I want to do? What is the area of my life that I could be working on that would mean the most to all areas of my life? You are a focused creature. You work the best and you get the fastest results if you're able to say, okay, this part, this and this, I'm just going to lower my requirements for that as of now. And then I'm going to work on the one thing that's going to make it much easier to work on these other areas. That's what we need to do. And I remember being in that state where you're listening to all the personal development courses and reading the books on all kinds of areas: physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, business, selling, negotiating, everything, right? It was amazing. I loved it, but I was getting very few results because it's only with focus where you take all your powers, all your energy, or all the available energy that you can really scrape together and then focus them at one point and then disintegrate that challenge. That's when you can get some real results. And you need to do that, especially if your finances is not anywhere near where you want them, or your body is not anywhere near where you want it. You need to prioritize, and if you're unable to do that, you're going to stay in that zone where you don't get results. The personal development industry is very much willing to sell you books and courses in all areas and tell you that you should be working on everything simultaneously. It's not that you can't, deal with your relationships, become better there, become better here, but 75 to 80% of your focus should be going into one thing at one time. So you might be working obsessively on changing your diet, your body, your energy level, your water intake, your everything in that area of life for 3 months, and that's almost all you think about. And then when you go to bed, you read a little book on relationships, right? Or you work on your sales skills. But you should have that overarching, all-consuming almost focus that you think about all day. You develop new habits, you go into read, you learn about it, you act it out, you do new things, and you do it with focus and passion and enthusiasm. And that's how to carve through that stone. That's how to make a real difference. If you don't, it will be like a magnifying glass, that analogy, right? Where if you don't focus like that, you simply won't burn through anything. You have to really go for it, and you have to do what I told you in the last video. You have to punch through and really overpower that challenge. Instead of saying, okay, now I got it. I'm going to focus on my body. Why? Because if I could be more resourceful, if I'm well rested when I get out of bed because I have enough sleep, I have enough water, I have enough everything, I'm meditating before I go to bed to really have that rest, I'm looking into sleep patterns, how to become good at that, I'm looking into my diet. If I can work on that, I can be more resourceful. That's the foundation of everything, my happiness, my enthusiasm, my productivity, that I have these resources. So let me become a master of that. But not only that, it's the most important, right? To your finances, whether you show up at work, whether you actually dare to dream about something that's perhaps a little bit scary and take action on it. How brave are we when we are, deprived of nutrients, when we're deprived of sleep, right? When we haven't been exercising, how brave are we? You know how you feel. If you just make one change and start working on your body, start running, it's immediate, right? You feel, wow, you can do everything. So that's where you need to put your focus, perhaps, unless that area of life is already really working. Then you take that area and you say, what would I do just intuitively? Right? Like we talked about in the previous video, what would I do intuitively? I would do X, right? This is how most people would go about changing that area of life, but you do 10 times that. You do 20 times that. You think about all the things you could do, and then you're just consumed by it. Reading, learning, taking courses, acting, developing the right habits, going into nutrition, everything. So you overpower it. And after those 2-3 months where you spend 80% or 75% of your focusing on that area almost exclusively, you will not get the same results as those 3 months, but you'll make an impact, an enormous impact. And you know what? You can use that to ride into the next area you're going to spend so much time on. Say it's your finances, then you're going to read everything about it, sign up for courses, take classes, take actions every single day in that area and really make an impact. Take those steps to start that online business, or take those steps to improve what you know about the area you're in so you can become a sales manager instead of a salesperson. You read about leadership if that's what you want, but you go all in, 1,000%. And then you ride on the habits you built throughout the 3 months where you focused on your health. But you won't develop those habits if you do not overpower that area. That's the key. So you say, but there's so many areas I could be working on, Klaus. I can't just work on one thing. It'll take forever. No, it won't. Because once you're riding on a more fundamental area that you got control over, like your diet, like your exercise, you'll be putting all that energy into that new area. Once you have, made some real differences in your financial situation, you've lowered your expenses and raised your income, whatever it is, you'll be riding on not only the practical changes you made, but also on the enthusiasm of having made that change. You'll be more self-confident and believe that you can make other changes in other parts of your life. None of that will happen if you're working on every single thing at the same time. You'll be frustrated and battled, bruised and defeated by the end of the 3 months, right? And then you'll have a period of time where you go around, why can't I just keep up the successful living? It's amazing. I try and I have these periods of success, and then I fall back into my old patterns over and over and over again. Yes, until you choose to spend 75 to 80% of your time on one area, right? Really make some changes, then you go on to the next. See, what happens in the end is that you got momentum by doing that in every area of life. And then you will actually achieve without stress, without worry, because you're able to lower your standards, say, this will wait. I'll only spend a little bit of my time on this area, a little bit of time there, and then almost all of my energy in one area. That's what's going to really make huge changes.